Now, yesterday we did tell you how the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, that's the NUPRC, announced an extension to the 2024 licensing bid round registration by 10 days. The Commission Chief Executive, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, said that this is to allow interested investors to take advantage of the expanded opportunities in this pursuit. Now, let's delve more. There have been reactions following this and similar related conversations. We have Mr. Dan Kunle, as an economist and policy analyst, joins us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Kunle, good afternoon, and thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, madam, and compliment of the season.
Wish you the same. So this extension of the registration should come as good news to stakeholders, giving you a bit of time to rest, to breathe and be able to participate, as Mr. Komolafe said, and take part of the opportunities that are available.
Yes, it's a welcome development to extend the timetable because of the situation currently. You cannot rush such a very huge number of oil blocks in offer. They are quite huge because the regulator had put out 7 blocks, 2022, 2023. And those 7 offshore blocks between Badagry and Ondo State offshore, they were not yet concluded as at the time President Tinubu took over. So now he is bringing additional 17 oil blocks after all his preliminary seismic review of the old data. So he's bringing 17 into the basket. So if you add 17 plus 7, that's 24. So the timetable to accommodate all the evaluation processes, the transaction, the bid round, is a very tedious exercise. So I think it was necessary for him to allow bidders to have time to turn around all the documents and check everything, due diligence and consultation across the globe. So it's just ideal. It's ideal. Even though we have no time on our side for the hydrocarbon life cycle, we have no time, but at the same time, we should still do things properly. Yeah.
Well, this now should give Nigerians more hope that we are able to meet up with our crude demand for supply into refineries, which we're expecting. Dangote is already working. Does it directly feed into the supply for the country?
Well, you see, this question, yes and no. Yes, in the long run, medium and long run term, and in the oil and gas sector, upstream in particular, medium start from 5 years, and long term, 5 years like that, 10 years, 15 years. So, because offshore assets, offshore oil blocks like this, the investment and planning period you need minimum of 3 to 4 years. All the seismic, all the data interpretation, all the initial drilling work, appraisal drilling work, then before you get all the FPSO, and then production facility installed offshore. You can just remember Bonga, remember the Eugenia. So you can see you need a frame of 5 to 10 years to achieve that. So in that respect, if the supply, crude supply and gas supply expected from all these assets, if they are to come on stream, it means you are looking at 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead of you. So that is in respect of this number of blocks he's putting in the market. But the good news is this. There are some of those assets that are already fully explored, but production have not started. The data shows that those assets are very good. So if the winners are able to mobilize quickly, then they can get crude to the market in 5, 6 years' time, because there's no wide horizon for delay anymore. So that is the thing. That is the good news. But the fairly long gestation period must not be taken away. We have to wait for some of these assets to mature between 5 to 10, 12 years because of what I've just told you, the preparations, the technology amalgamation of everything, all the apparatus, the investment decision. So, but it's okay. It will support our local crude supply in the medium and long term. It will.
And we see that recently the Commission had announced some attractive regimes, attractive fiscal regime, minimized entry fees. How are these investors taking this? Because our oil and gas sector has over the years had a lot of risks, that seem to be discouraging. We've seen IOCs leave the sector. Are these enough to quell the fear of investors coming into the space?
Yes, you see, this industry, this hydrocarbon industry from 1958 to date, in Nigeria, we have stayed too long for not carrying out the reform. So after staying too long for not carrying out the reform, the new Petroleum Industry Act 2021 that produced the upstream regulatory institution now has a herculean job in front of them, because you have to carry out a reform. And this reform has been left undone for years. That is why you see now that the Regulatory Commission has to hit so hard in many fronts. So if you don't create the right environment and atmosphere, create the necessary incentives, investors will migrate away, because the environment globally is looking for where it's appropriate for them to invest. And if you watch carefully, there is a competition in the golden triangle of the hydrocarbon resources of the world. The golden triangle is the Brazil basin and the Mexico basin and the Gulf of Guinea basin. If you just draw your triangle, you will see what I'm talking about from your map. So the investment competition in these three golden triangles has been not too favorable for us. So we need to rejig our fiscal regime. Our regulatory environment must reposition Nigeria to attract some of this investment into this deep offshore asset. Otherwise, we will be left behind, and we will not derive much value from the natural endowed resources there. So that is why when I saw that the Upstream Regulatory Commission decided to peg the signature bonus, I was very happy, because when they were doing the marginal field bid round 3 years ago, some of us insisted that they should not put signature bonus. Because you say you want to encourage your local investor in Nigeria to go into marginal oil fields to produce 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 barrels per day. And then you are asking the bidders to pay signature bonus in some circumstances up to $10 million. So where will that investor again now get additional money to develop the field? So you can see exactly what has happened now. Our caution at that time that some investors should not go ahead to pay that signature bonus, that they should write to the DPR, then DPR, that they should allow them pay only nominal fee for administrative expenses, while they should be asked to post performance bond over 24 to 30 years, to 30 months, so that within that time, if they don't bring out first oil, then government can cash part of that performance bond. But they refused. They didn't listen to us that time. Today, how many marginal field has come up after that bid round that was administered by the President Buhari's regime? So this is the problem at times, the egg or the chicken. So if you eat both, you are finished. So in this case, the upstream regulator has decided now, which is a very wise economic decision and also a fiscal friendly decision, to say, okay, all these upstream assets offshore for offer, $10 million in the global environment for crude oil is a small money. Okay, so many oil companies can afford to give you $10 million signature bonus for a very good oil block. So now, if that is the signature bonus limit for now, let us stay there. It's good enough. Federal government, I'm aware a federal institution petition that the Upstream Regulatory Commission is going to shorten the revenue going to federal treasury. I mean, this is the problem of alignment. Our political managers and the economic managers must always align weekly on what is going on. If you want higher signature bonus, no investor will come because you want to swell the federal treasury for distribution to the 3 tiers of government. What will they do with that money when you get it? That is if at all you are able to get reasonable signature bonus compared to that of the President Obasanjo regime when we were getting $120 million, $200 million signature bonus for oil assets in this country. That is history. You cannot get that one anymore. Anywhere in the world. People are giving oil block free today. So those people petitioning the upstream regulatory commission that they will shorten the revenue of government, they are mixing the point. You cannot eat your cake and have it. It's not possible. You either open up the field and allow investors to come in, or you close in and then you just go and then you will not get anything from your oil and gas. Nobody will put his money. So even this 10 million is still too high, but let's just stay there for now because the assets on offer, there are many. So I hope President Tinubu will begin to see that philosophy of taxation, don't tax the cow to death because it will not produce the milk anymore. Okay? So I stop here.
All right, Mr. Dan Kule. Obviously, we can stop there for now. But, I mean, the thing is not just attracting, as you said, the investors, but keeping them there, especially the domestic investors. We actually need them, especially now that we have hopes of refineries springing up in different parts of the country. Thank you so much for your analysis and sharing your thoughts, Mr. Dan Kule, economist and policy analyst.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now let's take a break. When we come back from that break, we'll head to the market. And decision. The Bank of England has made its decision. We'll talk about that with Juliana and other things here on Business Incorporated. Join us again.